Hello, Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Chris, and I am with my brother Tom.
Hello and Merry Christmas.
Okay, well, I think we should start addressing the main thing is we're back.
Finally.
We're back. Just like the Ghostbusters, in Ghostbusters 2, we're back. We're back in business.
I blame you.
I blame myself as well. I'm going to be honest there. We've been away for a while. We've had different objectives, haven't we? We've had work. We've had things to be getting on with.
Preoccupied, I'd say. Yeah.
We've been preoccupied.
Priorities.
That's the word I'm looking for. Priorities. So what we'll do, we're going to come back. We're going to come back with a Christmas special. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give our top 10 Christmas movies and our own opinion. They're not off any website. This is forged in our own minds that we've come up with a top 10.
I mean, the websites we did look on were quite...
We looked for examples, didn't we? We looked
Yeah.
to see... We didn't miss any Christmas movies off our list of 10. Because what I was worried about is if we put 10 movies down, then there's the key one we've forgotten about. We don't put it in a top 10, which would have made this podcast horrendous. So
I think the list of some websites were naff, though.
yeah, there were some really bad ones
Some
out there.
shockers.
There were some bad. But anyway, we have got our top 10. So we're going to start our top 10 with Bad Santa.
Yeah.
Written by... in fact, no, I'll tell you who it was directed by first. It was directed by Terry Zwigoff. Writers Glenn Ficarra and John Rick. I can't even pronounce their names. But anyway,
Don't
that.
try.
Yeah, I'm not going to try. But anyway, and it stars Billy Bob Thornton, who a lot of you will know.
Yeah.
And hopefully I've seen this movie because it is a good film. It got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. And the plot of the movie is a miserable con man and his partner pose as Santa and his little helper to rob department stores on Christmas Eve. But they run into problems when the con man befriends a troubled kid. Now, I think it was 2004, if I'm not mistaken. 2003 it was. It runs for 1 hour and 32 minutes. So it's a good 90-minute movie. What are your memories of first seeing this movie? How did it make you feel?
I don't remember first seeing it. I've seen it loads of times, but I don't remember the first time.
You don't remember the first time?
No.
Well, I saw it at the Pictures.
Anyway, it wasn't like the pictures, I guarantee.
Or the cinema, for so many people who don't call it Pictures. And for me, it was a good experience because everyone was in the cinema. They first saw it for the first time, and everyone was laughing along with all the plots and the jokes. I really enjoyed the movie, and it had to get into where it's positioned in number 10 because it's not your traditional happy Christmas movie, is it? Let's face it. Is a drunk. He's fucking women in the ass. And pretty much, if you can offend anyone, this movie will offend someone at some point.
He plays it well. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he plays it well, Billy Bob Thornton. And he often plays a drunk quite well in movies. I think he's done it before, hasn't he? In movies, he plays a drunk.
I mean, the only other film I've seen him properly and I remember is the one with The Rock, Faster. But I think
I've seen him in
Was he a bit of a drinker in that as
well?
well?
No, not really, no. He played a bit of an evil character. Bad guy. Yeah. But yeah, this film, it's for adults, obviously, with a rating.
Big time.
I would never let a child watch this movie. No. Although I practice what I preach, my 13-year-old seen it. So, but yeah, this movie's classic. It's got some great scenes in there that would get anybody laughing. I mean, one of my favourite scenes is when he's on his lunch break and he's having an argument with his co-worker and he's sat down having lunch and then this little kid and his mum sat at the opposite table and they go, "Hey, look, there's Santa." And this little kid goes, "Oh my God, Mum." And the mum's like, "Let's go say hello." So she goes over as soon as, "Hey, see, there's Santa." And he just turns around with his mouth full of food and goes, "I'm on my fucking lunch break." Oh, that's one of my favourite bits of that movie. Like even when he overhears them talking about coming over to me, he goes like, "Oh, great, here we go." And then the small dude in it as well. The guy who plays the elf. Yeah. Was when he's drunk, Santa's drunk, and Billy Bob Thornton's drunk, and he's sat in the chair waiting for the kids to queue up.
He's trying to hold the fort with it.
Yeah, and then the elf just goes up and he just goes, "You fucking pissed yourself." Oh, there's some great scenes in that movie. But in terms of Christmas movies, it's had to finish 10th because of what it is and where it is in terms of like the happy and joyfulness of the year. But I think that's on everyone's radar at Christmas to watch. The only thing I would say about the movie is that if you get offended quite easily, it's not going to be for you. If you like to just sit down with a drink and just lose your mind in a stupid comedy, dark comedy. Obviously, no, it's not dark comedy. It's not dark, but it's definitely it's adult humour from start to finish.
Yeah.
I never forget the cinema when we were in the cinema. The scene where he pulls that bird out of the bar at the start, and she's obsessed with Santa Claus. She tells a story about how when she was a kid, because she was Jewish, she never got the chance to have the story of Santa coming down the chimney and stuff. She never celebrated like that, and she says to that ever since then she's developed a sort of like infatuation with guys in red suits and Santa in general. And the next thing you know, the scene cuts and is in the car and she's like, "Fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa, fuck me Santa." Like the whole cinema was just laughing in stitches. But yeah, big ups to the guys who wrote that movie. I'm not even going to discuss Bad Santa 2.
I'm not watching that Bad Santa.
Don't watch it. Right. For me, Christmas movies, sequels, they don't work.
No.
We'll go on to that a bit later on with other Christmas movies that we do have sequels. One of which you'll know very well, but I don't think there's that many that do have decent sequels. And Bad Santa 2 I turned off halfway through. If no, I didn't get halfway through. 20 minutes I turned it off. It's been done.
Yeah.
You can't mess. Whoever thought of bringing Bad Santa 2 out, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I don't know what Billy Bob Thornton was thinking. It's a one-trick pony. It's Christmas. You're taking the mick out of everything that is Christmas. You make it into a comedy. You can't do that twice. You struck gold once, if you can say you struck gold, but you can't do it twice. What are you going to build on? That's the first one. You can. There's nothing to build on. So that's our number 10.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered it well. Yeah. It's a solid number 10.
Yeah. Okay, number 10. So that's Bad Santa. Now, coming in at number 9 is Tim Allen in The Santa Claus. We did decide this was going to go number 9 because the story is good. Has it aged well? Yeah, it probably has. A lot of kids will probably enjoy this movie. It was made in 1994. I think kids today will still enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
I saw this in the cinema as well. I was 8 when I first saw this. Its director is John Pasquin and it stars Tim Allen, and it was in 1994. So a lot of you know Tim Allen will probably know him from the Disney Channel, the Home Improvement TV show, and also he plays Buzz Lightyear as well in Toy Story series.
Yeah, been a few things.
This movie, I like to watch. I want to watch this every year. I say I watch every year, but if I miss a year, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, again, it's got a good cast. The kid annoys me a little bit. No, in terms of movies go.
I'm trying to picture the cast. I've not seen it for a long time.
So it's got. I'm not going to name actors' real names because I can't remember. Yeah. I can tell you who some of them are. So you. With a degree in pulling people's brains apart and thoughts, tell him he's not. It's like, who do you believe in? It must be so hard for a kid to try and get someone else to believe him over a psychologist or a shrink, as the Americans call him. But yeah, it's a cracking story. I love some of the scenes in this movie. Crack me up. The one where he's late at the very start. He's on his way to go meet his son at his house. And he's saying, "Oh, you won't believe the traffic," and he's beeping his horn, saying, "That's not very ladylike." There's nothing in front of him because he's going to be late. Yeah. And the touching, I think for me, the first half an hour of the film, my favourite, when it's Christmas Eve, the dad's burnt the turkey, they go to the cafe, and then there's like loads of dads in the same cafe who've also done the same thing. Their arms are in plaster and casts and stuff because they've burned themselves. So yeah, that cracks me up. And I think the story is wholesome, isn't it? It's family. It's something you can all sit down with. It's a Disney movie, of course.
How does it take Santa out now, doesn't it? Because he has to replace him.
Yeah, so he takes Santa out on the roof. We don't really take him out, does he? He just sort of says,
he shouts at me and he slips, doesn't he?
Yeah, as anyone would do. If a guy's on your roof, right, you're going to shout something. You're not, he didn't chuck a rock in or anything. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then he kills Santa, and then obviously he takes over. And I like how they made the film title Santa Claus because it's the clause in a contract.
Yeah,
that he has
clause,
yeah, and he has that on a card, doesn't he, in his pocket?
Yeah.
That if something's happened to him and puts on the suit, they become Santa. Yeah, that's for me. That's 9. I can't think of being higher in the list of 10.
Yeah, I had to make top 10.
Yeah, do you add anything on the movie?
No,
What's your favourite scene?
I think where he's like trying where he's getting fat and he's trying to shave vigorously. He's going to work in it, and people notice him putting on weight within like the space of a day.
Yeah, so yeah, he shaves in the morning and then in the evening he's fully grown beard, long white hair again. Yeah, that seems quite funny because he puts it down to everything other than the truth. He's in denial.
He's trying his best not to believe that he's Santa, but it's not working.
Oh, that's a good film. It's again, guys, it's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. For those of you in the UK, I'm not sure. I'm guessing it will be in the US as well.
Number 2 wasn't great, was it?
I refuse to talk about number 2 and 3. I mean, they're bad.
Was your third?
There was a third. There was the second one was about. I think the third one was about Jack Frost. The third one.
I don't remember the third
one. And it had a well-known actor in it as well. I can't remember his bloody name, but he's a really funny comedian. His career, he was big in the 90s and early 80s, well, 80s and 90s, but his career went down the panel. Have you seen Father of the Bride?
Yeah.
You know Frank, the guy who does the wedding planning?
I bet, yeah.
He's in all load of Steve Martin movies, this guy.
Yeah.
He plays Jack Frost in this movie, in the third one, I think it is. The second one isn't that bad. It's worth a watch, but it's not. I won't go out again. If I missed it for 10 years, I won't be bothered.
Which is the one where you've got like a doppelganger, a double. That second or third?
That's the second one, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's what killed it for me.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that.
Like a plastic doll version of it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And then the Jack Frost one was worse. We might be getting those two mixed up, you know. Jack Frost might be in the second one. But I don't know. Either way,
possibly.
It doesn't matter where they are, second or third, they're both trash.
Yeah.
So that, guys, is our number 9, which is the Santa Claus.
Looking forward to the next one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you announce it then. So go ahead. What's number 8 for us today, Tom?
Number 8, it's got to be Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, as I was mentioning before, in regards to the annoying kids in movies, this kid annoys the absolute hell out of me. Now, when you really think about it, I don't think it's a traditional Christmas movie in the way it's meant to be, because it's not. It's a guy chasing a toy from start to finish, and Arnold Schwarzenegger for me in this one, as much as I love the guy, I mean, he got a 5.7 out of 10. He got 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.7 on IMDb. So it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's written by Brian Levant, and it was out in 1996, I think it was. Yeah, 1996. Again, it's a 90-minute movie. So I do, as a kid, I loved it. But when you grow up and you watch it again, and I think that happens with a lot of movies, but this one more in particular, because everyone's seen Arnold Schwarzenegger in his films. In this one, he just overacts, and there's one scene in this movie that makes me cringe.
What is it?
It's the start, you know, when he's on the phone in his office. He's about to leave work because he's son karate. And you're my number one customer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it drives me mental.
And he says it to his wife.
Yeah, he says it to his wife by accident. And it's even, not that he's saying it,
it's when the way he's saying it to people.
It's also the way he moves when he's doing it. With
his hand.
It's like he's talking to someone who's in the office with him. Yeah. It just winds, but I don't know. It just seems to overact that particular scene, and the majority of the movie, to be fair. But the young lad, he drives me mental. And he also plays Anakin Skywalker in the
he does, yeah.
Phantom Menace. And thankfully, he was only in that one movie, but he was so annoying in that. And that kid, I mean, I don't think he's acting today, and if he is, he's probably doing really cheesy TV movies. But I just didn't like the kid at all in that movie. He really wound me up. But little fun fact, I've told you this before, but our listeners might not know, is that this actual film, Jingle All the Way, is based on Toy Story. Now, what I mean by that is Toy Story came out, I think it was 1994, and the big sellout toy that year was Buzz Lightyear. And whoever it was who decided to make Jingle All the Way wanted to base the film on a big selling toy product that was selling out, and they based it on Toy Story because of Buzz Lightyear selling out. That's why you've got a Space Ranger Turbo Man doll from Jingle All the Way. And I get the concept, it's really good. What would you do if you can't get that one toy? But for me, this dope left it till Christmas Eve to go and get it. And she says to him, Howard, please tell me, you got the doll, right? And he goes, and he hits him like a light bulb, like, yeah, it's in the office, I'll go and pick up tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, but tomorrow's Christmas Eve. It's like, don't worry, it's in my locker at work, it's at the office. Yeah. Why hasn't she got it? Like, why has she left it to him? He's clearly not Dad of the Year. He didn't turn up to his son's karate lessons. He's obviously into his work.
That's what I was just going to say. He's clearly work occupied.
He's workaholic, right?
Yeah.
Why has she trusted him with that?
Why has she not picked it up?
And which want to say this as well. Thankfully, there is no Jingle All the Way 2. In fact, actually, there isn't there.
Is there?
There is.
Surely not.
There is. I'm going to Google it.
Surely not.
There's a Jingle All the Way 2. Like it's got a character, an actor in it who's.
Is it one of them shitty spin-offs where they've got like
there is
a new film with a
there
different
is
cast?
Jingle All the Way 2. I spoke too soon. He got a worse rating. Not
Oh,
surprised.
yeah.
3.9 out of 10. 55% of Google users like this film. What are they on Smack? It's Larry the Cable Guy. That's the actor. You'll know him once I've seen. He also did, and basically, if there's a good film, he did the sequel, and it's always shite. Larry the Cable Guy.
His face looks familiar, but
Yeah, so a lot of you guys might not know Larry the Cable Guy, and if you don't, you're not missing out. But The Rock did The Tooth Fairy, didn't he? Which I've never seen.
I've not watched that either.
No, it's not worth watching. But
No.
he did The Tooth Fairy. He did The Tooth Fairy too. This guy, Larry the Cable Guy.
So he
it's
basically
like a star comes in, does the first movie, and then right, we need a sequel, and the writer's like, probably an alcoholic, drunk when he's writing the script, and then who do we get? Larry the Cable Guy. He's free.
I was just gonna say they're probably in their room offering to do a sequel. They ring the original star, and the star's like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
No
yeah.
way. And that's when they ring him. They've got him on speed dial.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. This movie has got some good scenes. It's got some good cast as well. The guy,
It's a great film.
the neighbour, the annoying neighbour. I love him because he plays Troy McClure
Prim and proper.
in The Simpsons.
Does it?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such things. Yeah, it's the same guy. Unfortunately, he did kill himself. I think it was suicide in the 90s. Poor guy. But yeah, I love him in that movie because he's that neighbour that everybody has in their street.
Oh, yeah.
He is that neighbour that is a busybody. And I get some of my favourite scenes is that when he's on the phone to Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he's trying to get on the phone to his wife, and she's in the shower and he's in the house
He's baking the cookies. Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh my God, these cookies!" And he goes, "Are you in my house? Eating my cookies? Put the cookie down!" That's one of my favourite scenes. Like, and he just seems irresistible to all the mums as well, doesn't he? Like, it's because he's into
Apart
all
from
that.
her.
Yeah, apart from Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife, he's this character that's like dating all the mums from school, and I think the reason is because he's it's like that What Women Want movie, isn't it, with Mel Gibson, where he can hear women's thoughts.
Oh yeah.
He's like that. He's tapped into women's psyche. He knows what they want.
Yeah.
So he's the handyman. He's the listener. He's the guy who can bake and cook. He's the guy that can do everything that a woman wants out of a man, and he gets that. But yeah, this movie. I mean, even when the scene where he punches the reindeer in the face.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you picked the wrong day. I mean, it sounds like we actually really like this movie, and to be fair, we do. But it can't get up past 8.
No. Plus, if you're used to Arnie in his action movies, then
yeah, you can't get past 8 for now. But now, so far, we've got number 10, Bad Santa. We've got number 9, The Santa Claus, and then we've got Jingle All the Way coming in at number 8. We now have number 7, Tom. Reveal it to the public. Who have we got?
You've got a drum roll.
I can't even do a drum roll. Let's just pretend. Okay, listeners, just pretend you hear a drum roll.
Add it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll try and edit it in if I know what I'm doing.
No, Elf.
Elf.
Number 7, yeah.
At number 7, which coincidentally has a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, which is really convenient. 85% on Rotten Tomatoes as well, and 92% of Google users like this movie. Let's have a look at some interesting information. So obviously, it starts Will Ferrell, who is an absolute comedy legend. Not everybody's taste. But he is, without a doubt, a money-making comedy actor. So this movie was directed by Jon Favreau. Is that
Jon Favreau? Is that
Jon Favreau? Isn't that him out of
Friends and
It is Avengers.
Avengers, yeah.
Plays Happy, doesn't he, in Avengers? Yeah.
No way.
Brilliant. I didn't know that myself. I've learnt something new myself there.
Go.
So yeah, he made the movie, and it's got James Caan in there as well. Well, he didn't make it, he directed it, I should say. Jon Favreau. James Caan is in it as Buddy the Elf's dad, played by Will Ferrell. Actually watched this last night because my little girl said she hadn't seen it.
What?
We watched Step Brothers. She'd never seen that, and then we thought, right, well, we've watched Step Brothers and then put on Elf.
I remember you showing us Step Brothers ages ago.
Yeah. So wow, Elf. Wouldn't normally make my top 10, but it grew on me over the years.
No, I'm always like that.
So the plot of the story is that you've got Buddy the elf, who is a human, who crawled into Santa's sack, and I mean that in a non-sexual way.
Oh, what?
When he was adopted, he was a children's home because his mum
Yeah.
passed away and his dad didn't know he existed. So he crawled into Santa's sack and then he grew up as an elf in the North Pole and doesn't know any better. He doesn't know there's an outside
He thinks he's
world.
an elf.
He thinks he's an elf. And then it's revealed that he is a human and he has a dad in New York City, which he goes and investigates and tries to find. And then it's just all pretty much elf meets reality and how the two blend.
Get run over by taxi cabs, etc.
Yeah. I mean, again, this film, there's a couple of things I don't like about this film. But I think the way Will Ferrell acted in the film is brilliant. I think from start to finish. I mean, the North Pole looked a bit like poor budget.
It did. It looked very plastic. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
very foamy.
basic. Yeah.
Like it was done on a stage. I mean, it probably was done on a stage.
Obviously,
But you think that, with all other Christmas films, you've got the North Pole and it's exaggerated and made to look like this wonderful place. Like, and I didn't make our top 10, but Fred Claus North Pole, for example.
Oh,
That looked pretty cool.
That was really cool.
I think now when I watched Elf, because I got confused with Fred Claus and Elf at one point when in my head I was picturing Elf in the North Pole, I was picturing Elf in Fred Claus's North Pole,
yeah.
and it's not the same. Even though the elves dress up similar and the same height and everything,
Yeah.
the actual it looked too bland. It was like a grey white. Every building was grey white inside,
Yeah.
and in Elf it just looked bland. It didn't look.
It looked like too much like a set in the background.
And not only that, they're making extra sketches. Who's buying them now?
Yeah.
The film was it I missed the year, I don't know.
Early noughties.
2003, I think it said. Even then,
Yeah.
like, who's buying... Is it 2003?
Yeah. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, 2003. And again, it's a 90-minute film. Some great scenes in it, don't get me wrong. I love the whole Santa's sleigh runs on Christmas spirit, but because not many believers are there anymore, it's pretty much dying out, so we've had to stick a bloody great big rocket on it to make sure it flies, so he can do his yearly job. I really like the cast in it. The good actors. No kids annoy me in this one, to be fair.
That's a good point, that, actually.
Will Ferrell's younger brother doesn't get on my nerves. But one of my favourite scenes is to name a few, is when he goes round in the door that revolves to the building. He just ends up going round and round. He can't get off.
He's too scared to get off.
Yeah, that cracks me up, that scene. And as well, the scene where he says, the manager of the store says, Santa's coming to town and he's coming tomorrow, so be ready. And he's like, Santa's coming here? Oh my God, Santa's coming. And then when he does turn up,
He's like, you're not Santa.
he's like, Santa. And he goes up to him and he's like, yeah, like you just said. He says, wait a minute, who are you? You're not Santa. And then they start scrapping. I mean, I think what makes me laugh the most when he turns around to that kid and says, don't tell him anything.
Yeah.
Oh crap! And yeah, that film, very light-hearted comedy, and not one I would expect Will Ferrell to be in because of the nature of his normal comedy.
Exactly, yeah.
But he pulled it off well.
You wouldn't think that'd be his sort of genre, put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about the movie? Is there anything you want to add? Any favourite scenes you've got? Any scenes you don't like that should be changed or you wish were changed? For me, just the North Pole aspect of it, I want it changed.
The North Pole is very valid. I mean, I really like the side of it where he first meets his dad, and his dad's like, this guy's fucking crazy, like, who is he?
Yeah, could you imagine if that really happened in real life?
Exactly,
You've got a guy coming to your office in an
dressed
elf
as an elf.
Yeah, trying to blag on that, 30 odd years ago, you fathered me. Like,
and then that guy, he's basically listening to him explain how Santa's real, and that guy's like, no, he's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's good. My favourite scene would be the suit, anything to do with the store, because I used to work in retail. I kind of get the way they decorated and stuff like that, and the excitement behind it, so I liked that, all that. My worst scene was like, the ending ruined it for me, because when Santa just happened to crash land in New York City, coincidentally where Buddy is, of all the places he's going to crash, and they're into one shot, he crashes there in the Central Park.
Yeah.
The odds of that happening.
Right in Central Park.
I think they could have done that better.
The whole earth to serve, so to speak.
Yeah, and
the whole of New York, even.
Yeah, I mean, I weren't a big fan of the guy who played Santa either, to be fair. He's alright, but...
He was alright.
He did alright for the role, I suppose,
Yeah.
but then again, you cast better with the films that have been over the years. Santa's been, I'd say Santa's struggled to be cast in certain movies, unless it's about him. If the film's about Santa, then they usually cast quite well.
Yeah,
but if he's like a side star,
outside.
If he's not the main star, then
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
cast him quite poorly, in my opinion, in different movies. But yeah, I mean, Great film. Always going to be watched at Christmas.
Yeah.
It is now by me, I must admit. I've already watched, as I said. Have you watched it this year yet?
I've not watched it yet, no.
Are you going to?
Possibly, yeah. Quite possibly.
Cool. So that was Bad Santa. That was Elf at number 7. The next one on number 6 is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
What a film.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it. I was struggling to put this into my top 10, but I humoured you because you had it in there.
I mean, I do like it, to be fair.
What is it you like about it? I don't. What's the?
Just the guy. He's just a complete mess, isn't he? But he tries to start off like he's not. Like he tries to make everything perfect, even though it's just gonna go.
He goes
completely pear shaped.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrong.
So this movie got a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, and the director was Jeremiah Chichik, if I'm pronouncing that right. The writer was John Hughes. He's quite well up in Hollywood. Stars Chevy Chase, and the plot is basically, this is where I struggle with the plot. So this only 2 lines. It says the Griswold family's plans for a big family Christmas predictably turn out to be a big disaster, because when you really think about it, there isn't a plot.
There's not. It's just one massive mess.
Exactly. Now I struggle with that because I think a movie needs to be based on something that happens, a theme behind the way the movie's orchestrated, the way it's set out. For me, it just seems as though when you get to the end, you think, "Oh right, it's just about his bonus to put in a swimming pool."
Yeah.
Which.
And then it don't even turn out to be a bonus, doesn't it? At the end, does it even turn out?
He gets in the end, doesn't he?
I'm sure he doesn't.
He gets kidnapped by his.
Yeah, but does it turn out to be like some sort of voucher?
Yeah,
instead?
it's a voucher, a donation to a charity.
Yeah,
his name, but
that's when.
Yeah, but cousin Eddie goes and kidnaps him. Kidnaps the boss, brings him round, and the boss says, "Oh, whatever you got last year, we'll double it. We'll put 20% on what you got last year."
Yeah.
So he ends up getting the pool. Yeah. In the end, but I just can't say you've done that movie based on that. A whole thing about a bonus.
Yeah.
There's some good scenes in it. My other problem with the fact with Chevy Chase is a bit of a dickhead, apparently.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's not very nice on set. Apparently, Chevy Chase was supposed to be in Ghostbusters originally, but he didn't get on with the likes of Dan Aykroyd. He didn't get on with John Belushi. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, obviously the Blues Brothers. And in the 80s, you had a big bunch of comedy actors that came on Saturday Night Live. So Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, John Belushi. I think James Belushi might have been a part of it as well. And they all came up through Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And Chevy Chase had been known to be a bit of a character, say, backstage, where he was quite demanding and he thought he was bigger than he is. So a lot of people didn't want to work with him. So the likes of Bill Murray didn't want to work with him, which is why Chevy Chase never got into the Ghostbusters movie, because they had a big falling out with Bill Murray and they didn't speak for many years. Whether that got addressed, I don't know, but it was something, from what I gathered, with Chevy Chase offered him out in a fight backstage because of something Bill Murray said in a jokey way. Bill Murray's not to be taken seriously.
No.
And you should know that as a comedy actor himself, Chevy Chase. So yeah, and apparently from what I've heard, he's been a bit of a dick on set about most of his movies, where if things don't go his way, he kicks up a stink. So for me, when I found out, that kind of ruined it. But I tried to look past that. It's got some great scenes in it. The first start with the car when they're going to get the tree and he ends up underneath that truck. Brilliant scene. The whole scene when he's putting up the lights, when he first gets. I mean, every dad goes through this when he's putting up the lights.
Yeah.
And he goes and puts up the lights, and then before that he cuts the tree down, doesn't he? He has to cut it down to size to put in his house.
Yep.
Then that neighbour says, "Hey Griswold, where do you think you're putting a tree that big?" And he goes, "Well, bend over and I'll show you." And he goes, "Griswold, you got some nerve talking to me like that." He goes, "I wasn't talking to you." His wife stood next to him, the neighbour. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone once in a while goes for a stage where they want to say that to someone, a neighbour, and he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And that just pretty much sums up Chevy Chase as well, to be fair. he
goes off one, doesn't he, as well, when the lights aren't working straight away. Well, it turns out like the link to the garage or something, doesn't it?
Yeah. So in the garage, he's got. I mean, it's a fire hazard when I look at those plugs. I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, the light bulb goes off. No pun intended, in her head when she realises that when she switched it on, the lights came on, and then she realised, oh wait a minute, that's why there's an overload and we need to flip the switch in the utility room. But yeah, for me, good film. Uncle Eddie, cousin Eddie is absolutely shit as full.
was emptying it into the sewer.
Yeah.
The
Oh my god, and he's just classic. I mean, even when he's going around shopping with Chevy Chase,
Yeah.
and he's just loading up these guys on the trolley. And,
No, that he's got to pay.
yeah, the amount of dog food for that dog as well. Yeah, Eddie's just brilliant for that. He makes the film for me. Without him in it, I think it would have been quite bland if it was just set on just the family, and that's probably why I've not seen the other movies that they made.
Oh, you haven't seen the others?
I have seen the others, but they don't make me want to watch them.
I was just going to bring up a little side note, but I bet you've not seen it now.
Oh, go on. I'm interested.
Did you see the obviously the remake of Vacation?
Oh God, no.
Did you not watch that? I thought it was quite funny. You've not watched it?
It's Ed thinking it out of Hangover.
Ed Helms, I believe.
Yeah, that Hangover.
Yeah.
No.
You've not watched that?
No.
No, I thought it was really good.
Doesn't it play? Isn't it supposed to be his son, Rusty?
That's supposed to be his son, yeah.
Yeah, he's grown up. No,
Yeah.
I don't think I could watch that.
No, it's quite funny. There's funny parts in it.
I
would say it's absolutely amazing, but it is funny. It's worth a watch.
See, I can't believe that because the son in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation knows his dad's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can tell he's quite embarrassed by him. So I can't see how they made a film him growing up to be exactly the same.
And actually, Chevy Chase does star in that with Ed Helms.
Does he really?
Yeah, he has a little cameo near the end.
Oh. Yeah. I won't wait to see a Chevy Chase movie anyway, to be fair. This is Christmas themed and I love Christmas, so I'll watch it, but other than that, we didn't even watch it. Christmas, we watched it in November, we went on holiday in a lodge. We watched it then. And yeah, it's a good film. For me, the whole, when the family comes, the great uncle and the great granny, they're both just like suffering from dementia or something. They're both clueless. I mean, one of them gets set on fire. The great uncle, doesn't he? He gets set on fire. The old lady, she wraps up her own cat.
Yeah, as a present.
Yeah, I mean, great scenes in that. And then the squirrel scene for me as well. That was actually quite funny.
Was that in the tree, the squirrel?
Yeah, where they start they start there, and then someone says, "Do you hear that?" And he's looking in the tree and goes, "I don't know. Whatever it was, it's gone now." And all of a sudden, you just see the squirrel's face just jump out at him. It's good how they did that as well. How they got a squirrel to do that. I mean, obviously you could tell when it was on his back, it was something that was on his back. But when they got to running around the house and running the right ways and stuff, I thought it was freaking brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. So that was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Moving on now to number 5, and number 5, which even I'm shocked that it's in our top 10. Oh, no. Okay, no, I'm not shocked in our top 10.
It's not.
I'm shocked that it's top 5. But I watched this last night, so it's fresh in mind.
Oh, yeah.
I did, and Daddy's Home 2.
Oh, there's no need to be shocked. It's a real good film, that.
It's a good film. Now, for me, John Lithgow, and again Will Ferrell, play absolutely brilliant parts. This got a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's a crime. That should be higher.
6, not too bad.
It's not too bad, but it should be at least a 7 or 8.
I don't think an 8.
Okay, not an 8. It should be a 7, at least.
So, it's Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg starring in the movie. It was made in 2015. The plot is Brad Whitaker is a radio host trying to get his stepchildren to love him and call him Dad. But his plans turn upside down when their biological father, Rusty, returns. And I just read out Daddy's Home plot there. So, my bad. Let me get the right one. For some reason, Daddy's Home 2 was not... there we go. So, Daddy's Home 2 was 2017. Stars, as I said, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. It's directed by Sean Anders. And the plot is, if you've not seen it, having finally gotten used to each other's existence, Brad and Dusty must now deal with their intrusive fathers during the holidays. Now, you've got Will Ferrell's on-screen dad is John Lithgow, and then Matt Wahlberg's is Mel Gibson. And yeah, this is without a doubt one of the funniest Christmas movies of the year.
Yeah.
Would it be my own personal top 5? I think it would when I say just miss out, it would have probably come in at 6th or 7th. But you cannot not watch this film at Christmas.
No, you gotta watch it.
I believe, I'm 35 now, but when I grew up until like 15, 16, I didn't think there'd be Christmas movies that come out after that age of 15, 16 that I would watch every year.
Oh, yeah.
This now is on my list.
Yeah.
I mean, we were wrapping presents the other night, me and the wife, and we decided to get a nice Indian takeaway and thought, let's put Daddy's Home 2 on, which we've done a few years ago as well, coincidentally. So this is a great movie. Don't get me wrong. So if you've not watched it, please, please, please go out and watch it. So the story is you've got Will Ferrell and you've got Mark Wahlberg, who are two dads, two children, a boy and a girl. So basically, Will Ferrell is a stepdad of these two children because he married Mark Wahlberg's wife. Mark Wahlberg is still involved in the scene of his children, and obviously he has to get on with the stepfather of his children. So they got on great, but then it all gets turned upside down when Grandpa, Mr. Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg's on-screen father, announces that I'm coming for Christmas.
Yeah.
And John Lithgow, who plays Will Ferrell's on-screen dad, also comes at Christmas, so they both get to go meet him at the airport.
And they're polar opposites as well.
They're exact opposites, aren't they? I mean, you get why they're picked out to be those characters' dads.
Yeah.
Because when you think of Mark Wahlberg in that movie, his character Dusty, this hard man, motorcycle, rough and ready sort of guy, his dad's going to have to be someone quite similar, but like a better version of him, which is Mel Gibson. And then John Lithgow, love that man to pieces. He plays the part perfectly. I think his character's hilarious. There's so many good scenes in this movie. I mean, the kids annoy me a little bit. The young lad annoys me the most.
Oh yeah.
The girl's not so bad. I think she plays a brilliant part, especially when she's got a gun and she goes shooting those turkeys.
Oh yeah.
And she
because the lad won't do it.
Exactly. And she misses, doesn't she, the first time? She hits Mel Gibson in the arm, but then she just gets the gun up and starts shooting the turkeys. But there's so many scenes in that film that stand out. I mean, the one I can relate to, and my wife would agree, is the thermostat. When they're sweating, they're in the lodge, they've gone away on holiday, and there was a big family. So that's one of the stories. They all go away as a big family to celebrate Christmas together because they don't want the kids going from different houses during Christmas. So they all say, let's have one big Christmas, all get together. And one of the nights they stay over, they're in this lodge, they stay out, they're in bed, obviously, and then the thermostat's up too high. And as a dad, they kick off and what the hell is going on? Who's messing with the thermostat? And there's a whole big scene about who's paying the bill. I love it. It was the first that comes out. It's Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson comes out first. He's like, oh my God, he must be crazy. And he turns the heating down. He goes and wakes up John Lithgow and's like, did you turn the thermostat up? And he goes, no, I mean, that's just like throwing money out your wallet, They might as well just take it while you're here. And
they agree with each other.
Yeah, and then they realise when Will Ferrell comes out, he goes, oh my God, why is it so hot? What are you guys talking about? And he's like, did you turn the thermostat? He was like, no, I would never do that. Then Mark Wahlberg says, it's okay, I know, it's my stepdaughter, I'm trying to break through with her and get to know her and stuff, so I'm not trying. He goes, oh dude, you might as well just give you your 401k and your wallet now. Because he's basically, and then when they all turn it down and the kid comes out and they say, don't do this sort of thing, she sneaks back out and turns it back on. Yeah. Absolute classic. And for me, that's probably my favourite scene in the whole movie.
Oh, really?
It is.
Yeah.
There are some other good ones, like the turkey shooting. What else is there? There's a scene in the... Actually, the ending's pretty cool. I do like the ending.
Yeah, it is really good.
John Cena comes out of nowhere.
That's funny.
And, yeah, the scene in the cinema was pretty good.
Yeah.
First of all, why is it open on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
If I'd just been pointing things out...
You'd be fuming if she was working.
What staff member wants to work Christmas Day in a cinema in the middle of nowhere? That just happens to be open on Christmas Day.
And you end up seeing a graphic film, don't they, where
Will Ferrell
and the dad are like don't like the language. They're like...
Yeah, they're going to see
a try not to watch it.
I think they're supposed to take the mick out of Die Hard, isn't it?
By the sound of it, but you hear the bad language, you see like judge it like this.
Yeah, that for me is what, again, great Christmas movie. Would definitely watch it. I'll probably watch it again before Christmas to be fair, but it's that funny. And even when they're dressed up as the what's it called? I can't. What's it called?
Yeah,
the Bethlehem scene.
Yeah.
And they're all dressed up as different characters, like the kings, Joseph, Mary, and then the whole snowball scene where John Lithgow keeps getting whacked in the face. Oh man, I mean that actor's so underrated. I mean, you look at that actor, right, John Lithgow, and the movies he's done. From my recollection, the films I've seen him in stand out that are like Bigfoot, which is Harry Henderson's. Yep. You've got Santa Claus the movies and that as well as a villain. But then you go and see him in Cliffhanger. And
he's a really baddie in it.
He's a baddie in that. Now, when I first saw Cliffhanger, I saw him being the baddie. I wasn't so sure. I thought, I can't believe they picked him as the baddie. And I was only a young kid at the time.
Yeah.
But even then, I saw him growing up in Harry and the Hendersons as a dad.
Completely different role. Like
and then again in Santa Claus the movie where he's a baddie, but he's not a malicious baddie. He's just a bumbling buffoon, isn't he?
He's just like a businessman.
He's a typical corporate businessman, a crook in a suit.
Yeah.
He's a crook in a suit. But then he plays this evil, nasty, vile villain in Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I thought, the guy's a chameleon. There's not a role he can't play.
No.
So underrated. Absolutely love that man to bits. Probably he's in my top 10 actors, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not bad.
In terms of acting, yeah, you go above anyone like Stallone and Schwarzenegger because they're just muscle-bound henchmen, aren't they?
Those films you list, I've seen them all, and they're all really good.
Yeah,
He's been in, so
yeah. So that was Daddy's Home 2 at number 5. Now we might as well do number 4 and number 3 together.
Yeah,
They go hand in hand, don't they? So we'll tell you what number 4 was. So number 4 is Home Alone 2, and number 3 is Home Alone 1. Both absolutely fantastic Christmas movies. Everyone will be watching these at Christmas time. Now, this is what I was saying before about sequels at Christmas movies. I can't, and please feel free to correct me on this on our Twitter page, which is at the Geek Shed. Sequels in Christmas movies, they don't go hand in hand. I'm yet to find a Christmas movie that's had a sequel, has been successful, as Home Alone 1 and 2 has. Because for me, they really haven't.
No.
Now, in terms of the cast, you've got Macaulay Culkin, who plays the young child who gets left at home, and then you've got Joe Pesci, who plays Harry, and then Daniel Stern, who plays Marv. Now, I watched a documentary about movies that made us on Netflix the other day, and Home Alone was actually one of the movies they did a full-out episode on. So before I go into that, we'll go with Home Alone 2 first. Well, first of all, Home Alone was 1990. It's just 1 hour and 43 minutes long. An 8-year-old troublemaker must protect his house from a pair of burglars when he is accidentally left at home alone by his family during a Christmas vacation. It's directed by Christopher Columbus, who also did Harry Potter. The writer was John Hughes, who I think, did we say, did National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation before? Was it Elf John Hughes did?
I don't know.
He's up there, Mr. Hughes, for doing some classic movies. And yeah, for me, great movie. It's hard to not put that in your top 5, even if you tried. You have to put that in your top 5. Home Alone. Home Alone at least.
Home Alone at least. Yeah.
We had to put Home Alone 2 there because I think it's relevant to the conversation I'm having now about sequels with Christmas movies. They just don't go hand in hand. So
I think
Santa
the
Claus.
order's right though.
Say again?
The order's right though. When it Home Alone 1 was better than Home Alone 2.
Yeah, well, the first one's going to be.
Yeah.
I think for the 80s and 90s, sequels had a problem where the sequel could never be better than the first. Now it tends to be different. When you look at Star Wars and Avengers and things like that, you can get the odd one that does peep out of its order and think that was better than the first one. But that back then, it was budget issues because not many people wanted to see a sequel. Yeah. And if they did do a sequel, it had to be better than the first, which is difficult, especially if the first one's massively successful. So, yeah. Home Alone 2 was obviously the sequel. We're going to rank Home Alone 2 below Home Alone 1 because, like I just said, the original is always the best. Home Alone 2 Lost in New York was made in 1992. Starred the same cast of Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. And it got a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, which I'm quite shocked at.
6.8?
That's Home Alone 2, that one.
Oh, okay.
And the director, again, I don't think... Well, it was Christopher Columbus, and also John Hughes was the writer. Now, my little thing here, we'll talk about Home Alone 2 first, and then we'll go on to that documentary I watched about Home Alone. So Home Alone 2, they couldn't do the same thing twice. They've kept the same theme.
Yeah.
But where he's going to do...
You can't do it at the same house.
Exactly. It's been done.
It's been done.
So where they're going to do it, what a great idea. Uncle Rob's and Aunt Georgette's. Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant idea. In New York, he's lost and he's
Massive
got all...
city.
Yeah, I mean, how do you go from being home alone in a house one year and then how do you get that bigger? I know, let's put him in a fucking city alone. What does he do? And this kid, for what is he? I think he's 10 in the second one. He has got some balls at 10 to go around New York City, one of the biggest places in the world, the biggest city in the world, and just crack on like nothing's going on, you know what I mean? I'm on holiday. I'm on my own. I'm in New York. I'm going to do what I want to do. Now, I've got some gripes with this movie, Tom.
Why?
They removed the World Trade Centers from the image of when he's in the airport. So when he comes out of the plane and he's like, Mom, Dad. And then, oh my God, yikes, I did it again. He goes up to the lady at the counter and he says, what's that over there? And she goes, that's New York, sir. And he goes, oh my God, I did it again. He turns around, looks out New York's window. There's no World Trade Centers. They took it out.
Why?
No idea why. But obviously it's still kept in the movie when he goes and stands on top of them.
Yeah.
And that classic Christmas song, All Alone on Christmas by Darlene Love, comes on with the scene where he's in a taxi and he's going to New York.
That is an amazing song. That.
Yeah, Darling Love, absolutely brilliant. If you don't know who Darling Love is, she's also plays
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon, Murtaugh's wife.
Yeah.
So that's something that gripes about the movie. Other than that, I can't really pick out anything that I look at in the movie and go, oh my god, why did they put that in there? Because I like to think about, when I watch a Christmas movie, I like to think about how I felt and where I was when I first watched it. Now, it always brings back memories of my late granddad, sat in the house on a Saturday afternoon at Christmas time, just alone. He'd never seen it. We switched it on. Even he enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a film that, even if someone's not seen it, once you watch the first 10 minutes, you're stuck. You're going to watch the end of it. You're not going to move.
No.
Plenty of scenes to get around. I mean, even Tim Curry as the hotel manager. The guy who looks a bit like the Grinch when he smiles. Come along, Cedric. That fella. You know what I mean? Tim Curry.
It's not Tim Curry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture him.
The guy in the hotel.
Yeah.
Where he goes. There's three of them in there. You've got the hotel manager with black hair, and you've got the woman who lets him into the hotel in the first place. Actually, spins a lot of cobblers about his dad being working in the office, and he's got his credit card and everything. And then you've got a young Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider, I know who that is.
Yeah?
Longest Yard. Yeah.
Don't give your tips in public, Civic. But he's the guy, the one I'm taking off there. That's the guy who's I don't think he's like a manager, but he's the guy on the front desk.
I'm going to have to Google it.
Seriously, you don't know who Tim Curry is?
I'll know his face. Probably.
Okay, right. We're going to take some time for Tom here to get. You just embarrass yourself in front of God knows how many people will listen to this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Now you know who he is. Yeah,
straight away, yeah.
He's known in a lot of films. He's a comedian. Shame what's happened to him now though. I think he's getting on in his 80s and he's disabled quite a bit now as well. He's in a wheelchair and stuff. But yeah, he's absolutely he brilliant in that movie. I mean, those movies he did in that time period, 80s and 90s, with class. But Home Alone 2, he stole the show in my opinion. Absolutely hilariously funny.
When they go into the hotel and he thinks like they're getting shot at. I don't remember that. He goes into his hotel room. He's playing that.
And he says, "Get on your knees and tell me you love me." Yeah. And then he says, "I love you." And he goes, "You gotta do better than that." And they all get on their knees and like, "We all love you." Yeah, classic.
They all come outside of the room and say, "Get the police."
Yeah, call the police. There's a man with a deranged man with a gun. It was like coming out of the rooms. I had the Talk Boy device that he has, to do the recording. He records his speech on it. That little handheld device he has. Yeah. I had that as a kid as well, growing up. I got that for Christmas one year, and it had a recording of the Home Alone 2 movie, of the scenes, some of the classic phrases that's been said. So really? So one side you could record on, the other side you could listen to. You can't record over it. Yeah. But yeah, you had the classic phrases that were said in the movie.
That's quite good.
Marth and Harry, the sticky bandits in this one.
Not the wet bandits, the sticky bandits.
The sticky bandits. Again, these two guys go hand in hand together. The chemistry. Yeah. I won't discuss too much about that because it's more going to be on about Home Alone, how they got together to be in the film and stuff. I really want to mention that. Yeah. But they make the movie, the villains, they're brilliant. I look at it now in a different perspective because when I was growing up, you're a kid, you love Home Alone, you love Kevin McAllister. But now growing up, I just love watching them two. If they made a movie just on those two in that era,
a little spin-off.
Yeah. Oh wow, I would have been there straight away now. I mean, that'd be even if it was like a mini TV series or something, it'd be brilliant. But some of the scenes in that movie, like even at the start in the Christmas pageant where Buzz is taking the mick out of him, putting candles in his ears and stuff, and they're singing. Oh yeah. The scene where, you know what I say, don't you?
Is
the
it
teacher.
High-pitched voice?
No. So he's singing, isn't he? Yeah. And then he's messing around. And he punches Buzz, and the whole like they're all stunned, like the whole choir falls over.
Yeah.
Now one of the people fall into this stuck up like cardboard Christmas tree, which falls and hits the piano player, the teacher, square in the head. And it's the way she falls backwards off this chair. Oh my god, every year that cracks me up. It's one of Mum's favourite scene, that as well. Yeah. She cracks up when she sees that. But yeah, that scene alone, and then the brick scene for me, when they're outside the house. He's just gone in the house, he's set it all up, and he's gone to the roof. And
he launches the brick off the roof.
Yeah. Chuck down the camera, kid, and we'll let you go. And he starts chucking bricks.
He just falls down like...
Marth in that scene is brilliant. Daniel Stern is a legend. And just when he's like, gets hit by the first one, and then
He's stumbling
like,
about the second time.
how many fingers am I holding on Marv? And he goes, ooh, 8. And then he's talking to him, and then he's trying to get Harry's attention while he's been hit by a second brick, and he's like, I'm breaking. And he just gets hit for a third time because Harry ducks at the last minute. Again, some classic scenes in that movie where, for a sequel, even though it runs on the same sort of timeline and theme of the first film, it worked.
Yeah, it did.
Not many films can say they can do that and get away with it, but this film does, which moves us now onto the first one, Home Alone 1. Now, did you know, got some fun facts for you now, did you know that the movie was not shot inside the house?
Was it not?
No, they only used outside the house for the shots of where the house was located and what the house looked like. The actual inside the house was built for just the film in a school gymnasium.
I did not know that, no.
So when you get home, Netflix, the movies that made us, episode 1 or 2, Home Alone, watch it. Really good.
Okay, I've not heard of the series I've got. Sounds good.
Good. Yeah. It's got loads of classic films, RoboCop,
yeah.
Dirty Dancing, films like that. The movies that actually made us. So like a stupid portion of the population we've seen. So Home Alone nearly didn't happen because the writers thought it was too violent. Not the writers, sorry, the publisher, like Warner Brothers, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Who was going to okay the movie to be made. They had to wait for ages to put this out there because they thought that it was too violent for a kid with two blokes. But the guy was like, wait a minute, it's a kid beating up two blokes, it's not the way around.
Yeah, it's funny.
And in the end, they did give the go-ahead. The budget was very small, which is why, hence, they built it in the gymnasium. Big ups to whoever did that, though, because you couldn't tell the difference.
No way.
Classic scenes in that film from start to finish. You've got the whole scene with the pizza delivery guy, again, with that movie, which, the movie, what's it called? Is it Filthy Angels and something? The movie that they watch in black and white.
Oh yeah, something like that. But I don't know the film. But yeah,
Filthy Angels, or something, whatever it's called. You know what I mean? The black and white movie that Kevin McAllister watches with his family is not actually a real movie.
Oh, is that?
It was made just for
purposely just for that.
Hold on, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, would you? Because it looks. You look at the movie, you think that's definitely a traditional black and white movie.
Oh yeah, straight away.
But no, it's not. It's actually made for Home Alone. So again, big ups to that. And whoever came with that idea and just integrating it, well, you wouldn't think that idea would come across.
Just a small detail like that.
Yeah, just a small minor thing like that becomes something so big. Because no doubt people would have gone and said, "What's that movie? I want to watch that."
Yeah.
Gangsters and stuff like that. Some crazy guy with Tommy gun.
Yeah.
And they realise it's not real. You're like, oh, well, I can't watch that then. But Daniel Stern was first choice to play Mav, but backed out because he was doing another movie and the money wasn't good that was being paid. Joe Pesci accepted straight off the bat, was happy to be involved. They paired him up with another actor, I can't remember his name for the life of me. He's probably quite well known in America, TV movies and stuff like that, but I've never really, I think I've probably seen him once before or something. And he was going to play Mav, but they had no chemistry. It was really poorly, like when they're trying to do the movie, they shoot it with him in it. As Mav, they couldn't get it right. The director was like, it doesn't feel right. These two should know each other. They're a team. They're burglars. They go hand in hand. They go out. They should be like a married couple in a way. You know, in terms of the theme, that's how you want a married couple to be. Yeah. The chemistry. And it wasn't until the movie that Daniel Stern was doing ended up falling through, and then they called him a second time and said, look, this isn't working with the guy we've got. We really still want you to play Mav. We're going to offer you this amount of money, which is pretty much the same. Yeah. And he accepted this time around. So the real reason as well was Joe Pesci was pushing for Daniel Stern to the point where he was calling Daniel Stern up himself. We want you to the movie, because they did a movie together previously in the 80s. Can't remember the name of it, but they did a movie before, so they already knew each other and they already had good on-screen chemistry. So again, these two, if it was done with any other guys, I don't think this movie was going to come off. No. Macaulay Culkin's first solo role other than Uncle Buck, it had to pay off. Yeah. And it did as a childhood star, but I don't think it would have done if they didn't get the right two baddies to play as much as Kevin did, like Macaulay Culkin did well as Kevin, it wouldn't work in my opinion. No. I'm so glad that they did get round to getting the right mixture and chemistry on the screen. what to say. I mean, there's so many scenes in that movie. I mean, there's some obvious loopholes, little
niggles, yeah.
Like when his mum's phones the cops when she realises he's missing.
Yeah.
Hello, my son is home alone. I just wanted to go and send a cop over to my house to check on my son. You've not once said a description, how old he is, where he is, why he's been left at home. You know, and I love the fact that cops are taking the mick as well.
Yeah.
Because, no problem, let me just get you through to the police department. She's like, no, don't put me on hold, don't put me on hold. And he goes, hi, Pronto. Guy picks up, hello, you're into Chicago Police Department. And he starts the whole story again. He goes, right, okay. Let me put you on to such a body again. He transfers the call back to that woman. And then he goes, Rose, hi, Pronto. Passes back and it's just, hi, ma'am, it's you again. And then they organise a cop to go around. Now, for me, when the cop goes round, he says, just no sign of any life in the house here. Just tell him to count the kids again. That guy should be fired.
Yeah, he would not do that.
You knocked on the front door.
I was just going to say, he just knocks on, doesn't it? And there's no one that comes
My
to the door.
son is 8.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, so if someone knocks on the door, and it's happened the week, by the way.
Did it? Go on.
I left him home alone. Wait for it. With his 13-year-old sister.
That's not too bad.
So, we went out, we come back, and they're both hiding upstairs in the bedroom. What are you doing?
God.
There was drilling next door, right? There was we heard some really weird drilling, so we went upstairs and hid. Right. Did you not think he was next door drilling? Oh, right. Because he's putting the Christmas decorations up. So, exactly. So, when a cop goes to someone's house, when someone knocks on the door or makes noise, where are the kids going to go? Hide.
Yeah.
They'll go answer the door. Hello.
Yeah. No,
what can I do for you?
Not if you're on your own.
Can I help?
No.
So, yeah, there's some plot holes in it. But it's the biggest plot hole. What the hell does Kevin McAllister's dad do for a living?
To afford that house.
Right, so for me, I thought I tried to recreate for this podcast a way that we could sort of make up a little story about it. I thought maybe he's like a mobster and he's hired the 2 burglars before to do a job and they're trying to get back at him because he never paid him.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can't work out because they don't know each other. But I thought it'd be a nice little concept. But yeah, he's either a top class lawyer or he's involved
something like that.
Stock market.
Yeah.
Lawyer,
Wall
stock
Street.
market, or dodgy.
Whatever.
Put it this way: IRS, the tax people in America, need to have a chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really confusing as well. Like some of the characters in there, like you don't know who's related to who. There's
so much of the family, like brothers, sisters,
yeah,
and their offspring and their brothers and sisters.
We discovered that he's got 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Right.
I think, and I'm sure on the brothers, it's the redhead and Buzz. They're the 2 brothers.
Right.
And then the girl is the one who says, "Les compétents," the blonde one. When he says that, she says to him, "You need to go pack your own suitcase." And you're with the French card, "Les compétents." That's what she says to him. She's the sister. Yeah. But there is another sister, I think it's the one where straight after that scene she says, "What did you tell Kevin?" "Oh, I told him to go and pack his suitcase." The brunette, I think that's his other sister.
Yeah.
It's not very clear, but there is a family photo, I think it's in Home Alone 2, where you see them all together as a family. I think he has it, Kevin, actually in Home Alone 1, where he's in bed. Looks like a family photo. Yeah. But yeah, the other plot hole was the pizza scene. At the start, when he orders the pizzas. You don't remember the pizza scene?
What? So
the very start.
Yeah.
Pizza guy comes around, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
And they have like I think like 12 pizzas.
Yeah, and they ordered like the Pepsi that was in the red and white can.
Yeah, classic. I wish they brought that back. White and red can, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you remember how much the pizzas cost?
No, but it's got to be stupid because it's like 12 pizzas or something.
I think it was 112.50. Don't quote me on that.
112.50.
That's what's stuck in my head right now. 112.50. Because he keeps on saying, doesn't he? Someone owes me 112.50 because everyone keeps walking past him and trying to get payment for his pizzas. But that's not what I'm talking about. The actual scene I'm talking about is when the pizzas are taken by his dad.
Yeah.
He takes them in, and then Kevin comes downstairs going, "Pizza, pizza, pizza!"
Yeah.
By the time he's got from the stairs to the kitchen, Buzz has already eaten a large cheese pizza, because if you remember, he's eating it, and then
it's like 10 slices.
Yeah, Kevin's going around looking like, "Does anyone know where my cheese pizza is?" And then Buzz goes, "Yeah, but someone's gonna have to barf it all up."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then it was him that ate it. How the hell did he eat that fast? That's the other plot hole. And not only that, why is there so much milk on the table?
Yeah, that's one thing I've never understood.
Who has milk and pizza?
I've never understood as well why people order like 10 pizzas for a family of like loads of people. Have one pizza each instead of mixing and matching.
Oh, you're never going to be able to please everyone in that situation.
No.
You're always going to want someone.
Exactly.
Like,
someone's going to want at least a different flavour.
Of course they are. They're going to want, I'll order a cheese tomato pizza. Oh, what's that? Is that vegetarian? What's that like?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get that.
No.
But great scenes in that movie as well, because the scene of him cutting down a tree in the back garden, decorating it. My other favourite scene that makes me in stitches every time I watch it is when Kevin puts a spider on Marv's face.
Yeah, he's a scream.
The scream.
Yeah.
Little fun facts for you. The scream
wasn't it him?
was put in later.
Oh, was it playing later? Was it still in?
It was still in.
Yeah.
The scream was put in later because it would have scared the spider.
That's a good point, actually.
Now, yeah, it's common sense.
Yeah, but you don't think
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just literally Marv was, again, Daniel Stern, great actor, was just like sounding out a scream silently to make it look like he was screaming so the spider won't get scared. Absolutely brilliant. And then they put the scream in later. That scene gets me every single time. No matter what, every single time.
Fair play as well with a spider on him like that.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he had the balls to climb the shelves where the spider was in the first place and then not realise it's out on the open. Anything you want to add to Home Alone? Anything do you have a favourite scene in that movie?
I think just where he gets hit on the head with like the iron.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, where he's like
paint cans.
Is it an iron? Because I remember like
the iron.
Yeah.
That brings me a point. So we had that scene, classic, but the scene where he steps on that nail in the basement. So when he's going up the stairs and he's got like sort of black tar.
Oh, greasy, yeah.
And then there's a nail sticking out because he has to take his shoes off.
And he just falls back slowly, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just looks at his phone and goes, ah! Like that there. I mean, other than Lego, stand on Lego, or what he stands on his Christmas decorations and baubles.
Yeah.
That there is like your worst nightmare, to stand on a facing up nail.
Yeah.
Barefoot. You know what I mean? No protection.
No.
But yeah, good shout for that scene with the iron. The fire scene as well, actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah, when he just opens and kicks the door in, like, then he runs out and puts in the snow. Even the scene where, God bless the guy who played the stunt double, when he was climbing up the steps at the front porch and he kept slipping backwards and falling on his back. At one point, it lands on his neck. Whoever the guy was who played the stunt double, hope he got paid well for that scene, because Jesus Christ, it looked great, but also it looked great because it looked like it hurt.
Like ouch.
Exactly. So that's Home Alone 1 and 2. Home Alone in number 3. Home Alone 2 number 4. We're now going to move on to number 2, which is debatable for many people, Tom.
Yeah.
Because not many people think that our number 2 is a Christmas movie.
It is.
Bruce Willis says it's not a Christmas movie, but I've learned to not give a shit what he says. I'm going to point this out now, that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? So let's bring up Die Hard on the old trusted IMDb website database. Die Hard 1. So it was made in 1988. It's got Bruce Willis starring as John McClane, by the way. Also covered on The Movies That Made Us. Very good shout to watch.
Oh, is it really?
It is indeed. So some fun facts to tell you about this as we go along. And it's also got Alan Rickman, who some people may know this generation as Professor Snape from Harry Potter. He plays Hans Gruber. They're two main guys in this film, and it's got an 8.2 out of 10. The story plot is as follows. An NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles, which is a real building, by the way. Different name, real building.
Oh, okay.
So, Bruce Willis, an unknown going into this movie, only known to do comedies. Okay, I'm going to tell you some fun facts now.
Go on.
Be prepared.
Fire them off.
So, the cover for the movie, as you know, has a picture of the building, and then a picture of Bruce Willis, like half of his face next to the building. Yeah?
Yeah.
They took the face off when it was released.
I remember you saying the other day.
Took the face off because people actually laughed at Bruce Willis in this movie when it was first done in a behind closed doors event. Because at that point in the 80s, your action heroes were still Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Muscle from Brussels. You can also probably put Dolph Lundgren in there as well, though some of his films were a bit cheesy. And you had to be muscle bound, you had to weigh like 300 pounds worth of muscle. And then you got Bruce Willis, who's running around with no shoes and socks on in the vest, and no muscles.
No.
So it annoyed a lot of people because I think they wanted that kind of character. This movie nearly didn't happen as well, due to issues with budgets and the story of being signed off as a film. I think it was released around about October time of that year as well, 1988. It got delayed a couple of times previously. but they put his face back on the cover once it had been premiered at the theatres, and it got a good reception. But there was screen testing that didn't go down too well with Bruce Willis, apparently. So again, just goes to show that when something's tried, it works out.
Yeah.
Great movie from start to finish. Even the start. I mean, every bloke has done this. The guy on the plane that says, if you're ever stressed out, make fists with your toes.
Make fists with your toes.
Make a fist with your toes.
Yeah.
Every bloke has done that because of this movie. I guarantee it. I remember sat there one time after I watched it. I just barefoot. I was sat there thinking, does that work? And it's just weird. Even though I tried it, I still attempted it. It doesn't matter whether it works or not. I still did something. That movie
just because
mentioned.
of the film mentioned it. Yeah.
And great actors, great scenes. It was supposed to be called something else. It was based off a 30s novel. And it was made for an actor that was in a 50s movie as well. He was like an action hero in the 50s. It was made for him, but obviously he was in his like 60s at the time, so we couldn't really say, come on, you're not going to pull this off. It's not going to work with a 60-year-old man running around killing terrorists. What's your favourite thing about this movie? Do you watch this every year?
The action side. I'm going to not go lie, I've not watched it for a while, but it's on the list, put it that way.
Right. My wife watched this movie. She's watched it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, she's watched it more than that.
Like, sometimes she watches it twice, one after the other.
You said the other day she's watched it loads of times already.
I don't know what the story is, why she does that. But, anything you think what's your favourite thing about the movie? What? Exactly.
So it's not like violent action, it's just...
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's action that it could happen.
Yeah.
It's believable in that sense, and especially America with the gun laws over there, it could possibly happen any moment. Maybe not now, but it would have done in the 80s and 90s. Security now is up there tighter than a fish's ass. But the comedy moments for me that are in there, the ho ho ho, and now I have a machine gun wrote on that dead guy's chest.
Yeah.
And puts me in the elevator.
Oh yeah, because he puts me in the elevator to show the other
guys that I'm here, get knowing I'm going to be taking you all out. The scene for me with I still don't understand this scene very well. Someone could probably explain it to me. Is I can't remember his name, but it's the bearded fella who's like a co-worker of Holly McClane.
Is he like, what's the word, like another businessman?
He's a cokehead.
I was just going to say he's a coke.
He's a fountain pen.
He's proper like hyper all the time.
I don't get what his game is when he even says to the guy, he says, look, we both do business, we're both businessmen.
Oh yeah, he tries to negotiate with him. I
use a pen. What are you doing? What does he say? So he says to Holly, I negotiate $1 billion deals for breakfast, this ain't going to be a problem. And he's coked out of his head. What's he doing? I don't get what his game was there. Because he says to us, the guy upstairs fucking up things for you. And he goes, we go way back, me and John, come on buddy, what are you talking about? I don't get what his game is.
Yeah.
But obviously, even John McClane tries to tell him, look, just tell him you don't know me, because obviously, if he says he knows he won't use him for leverage. So I don't know why he put himself in that position in the first place. But the only thing for me that I didn't like about, I don't want to slag this off because it's one of my favourite Christmas movies, but the 2 guys that were necessary were the FBI guys. I don't get why they're in the movie. I don't get why they're there. They weren't needed. That whole scene wasn't needed. It ruined it for me. Those 2 blokes, Johnson and Johnson. I mean, the other thing that makes me laugh about them 2, that's and the guy in the front, the other Johnson, goes, I don't know, I was in junior high, dickhead. It was funny, that scene. I just don't get. I mean, for an FBI guy, you got a guy downstairs, you got Lieutenant Powell, the police officer that's in communication with John McClane. He's down there. He's believed John McClane's story, but no one believes Powell, which is annoys me because if no one trusts Powell, police trust each other. You know what I mean? They have to. And FBI won't even consider his story. We don't even know who this guy is. We're gonna, we'll take him out if we see him. You can't do that, surely. And yeah, I just don't know why they put that whole Johnson & Johnson FBI thing in there. Because for starters, if you're going to get the FBI in, do it properly. Don't bring 2 blokes in there that clearly were crap. Yeah. It's like, who can we get to do this job? Well, who's not got signed any tax? Johnson & Johnson. the jokes of the FBI bureau, send them out to do it. I don't know why they were there, because I think the police had it under control as they could have, to an extent, to the point where they're dealing with it. But I think it's because it was terrorists, they had to get the FBI involved. But I think they could have done it in a way that, you got all those guys going up to the building and those tanks and stuff. Yeah. And that could have been all of the FBI, if you know what I mean. All them, and then
absolutely,
rather than SWAT.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my only gripe with the movie. Other than that, I loved it from start to finish.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Alan Rickman, his German accent, brilliant. The fact that he played that scene as well, where he was pretending to be one of the hostages in one of the scenes as well, where he gets caught out by Bruce Willis, and he pretends to be a hostage because that's the only on-screen time they're going to have together at the same time before the end. Yeah. So it was good in the sense that Alan Rickman's getting a chance now to learn about John McClane, who wasn't it, Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber's getting more chance to learn about him and find out what makes the guy tick. And he's got the opportunity to kill him when Bruce Willis hands him the gun, but Bruce Willis knows there's something up, and he gives him that gun that's empty. He goes, oh, whoops, no bullets. And then, he's got that opportunity then, and then obviously the guys come down and get involved and shoot him up. And I love that bit where when they just after that scene where Bruce Willis runs into the offices and he's got all the glass screen doors, and then you've got Hans Gruber talking to that long blonde fella in German, basically telling him to shoot the glass because Bruce Willis is barefoot.
Oh yeah, yep.
And he has to say it to him in English because he doesn't understand his German. I thought again that was a little bit, because he's like, whatever German is, reference to shoot the glass, and then he looks in puzzled and he just shoot the glass. Then he shoots it. He does it in the end. That movie's got so many great scenes, and the comedy aspect is there. Even when he's on the rooftop trying to get attention, he's got a radio. I mean, the guy's doing everything that you would do in a situation.
Standard.
He's on top of the building, and then he says, "Mayday, mayday! I've got terror taking over the Nakatazi building." And this police officer comes on the side, and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, this is a reserve channel. You cannot speak. Please call 911 like everybody else." And then she goes, "No shit, lady. What do you think of trying to order pizza?"
Yeah.
Oh god! No, she's just doing only use this channel if it's for emergencies, and that's where he says that. Yeah. No shit, lady. You think I'm trying to order a pizza? So definitely watch that on Netflix. Yeah. The movie that made us. It's worth watching that documentary on it. Really good. That's our number 2.
Absolutely.
And then number 1, my own personal favourite. I don't know if this is your personal favourite.
Yeah, it's got to be up there straight
Every year watch this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Santa Claus the movie, which stars, as mentioned earlier, John Lithgow and the late Dudley Moore as well. Now, this movie is basically, for me, it's every year, as a kid growing up, Santa Claus for me was the actor that played Santa in this film. I'm just going to find his name in a second. So it stars Dudley Moore as an elf, and you've got John Lithgow, who's like a
corporate businessman.
Corporate businessman who owns... Can you remember the name of his business? The toy... He owns a chain of toy stores, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Come on, you got to do it. You got to tell me without Googling it. Come on. What's the name of John Lithgow's business in Santa Claus the movie?
No.
BZ Toys.
BZ Toys. No, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Because the scene I was looking to as a kid is when he's got I think it's brandy or whiskey. He's got it in his hand. I think it's brandy, and he's talking to his co-worker and he goes, BZ.
Oh,
the way he does it.
It takes like a little sniff of it.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the he's actually called BZ, so that's probably why his toy store's called BZ Toys. The actor who played Santa Claus was David Huddleston. Absolutely brilliant actor again. Yeah. For that movie, I've not really seen him in anything else. Apparently, he was in The Big Lebowski. I saw him in it, ruined it for me because he's Santa for me.
Yeah.
He's not in anything else.
I've not seen that one.
Right. Great film, based on true story to the point, obviously, where the elves come and save Santa. Because apparently, Saint Nick was supposedly known for handing out presents to children, then died in a snowstorm. That as the legend has it, I don't know how true that is. But then obviously the elves come down and save him and take him in as one of their own and explain to him, Father Time, listen, this is how it's going to go. You're going to go around the world one night, bait reindeer, you're going to do the job. Fun little question for you. Can you name all 8 reindeer?
I know you can.
Go on. I know I can. That's why I asked you the question. It'd be stupid to give you a question I don't know the answer
to. Dasher, Dancer.
2.
Comet.
Yeah.
Cupid.
Yeah. 4. 4 more.
Donna Blitzen.
Ooh, 5 and 6.
Donna Blitzen.
Who?
Donna Blitzen, Vixen, and the 8th one I'm not going to be able to.
I think you got them all.
That's 7.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna, Blitzen. Yeah, so this for me was the pinnacle of Christmas for me growing up. So I think it was, is it 1985? Shall I look on the land? IMDb? 70s. It's not.
I'm sure it's late 70s.
I promise you now, it's a year older than I am. 1985. It's a year older than I am. So this is something I watch every single year. Dudley Moore, classic character, and it's a great actor, funny as hell. My favourite scene in this movie would have been Patch. My favourite scene in this would have been right at the very end with the Super Duper Looper.
With the
Patch with the reindeer. That still gives me chills when I watch that scene from when I was a kid.
And the car's gonna blow up.
Yeah. It's like I say, it's a pinnacle of what Christmas means. I love the whole wooden carved toys as well. All the toys are all wooden.
Yeah, like old fashioned.
Yeah, old fashioned. I really enjoy those. So that is our number one movie. I hope it plays number one for everybody else. But this movie is without a doubt probably the number one Christmas movie for many people around the world.
Yeah.
Quite easy.
There's not going to be many arguments there. It's got to be number one.
Got to be number one. So any favourite scenes for you in this movie?
Well, you said that with the Super Duper Looper.
Yeah, that's the movie called.
There's quite a few. I mean, there's quite a few. There's obviously where Patch goes to the BZ toys.
Yeah.
And then the obviously the hire a new head elf. And then obviously he doesn't like that, so that's when he goes. Yeah. But he has the idea of getting like like a factory machine done to build a toys.
Line.
Yeah.
Automatic assembly line where Noels need to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Box them up.
Yeah.
And when he goes to the US, again it's New York and he goes to, that's the scene where he joins BZ and makes that it's not candy like a lolly stick in it.
Oh yeah, that's
fly.
Yeah.
Can you remember what colour it is?
It's like a purple colour.
Yeah, but can you remember the name of the colour that was referenced in the film?
I don't know what you mean, sorry.
So in the film, when they go and approach Patch and say,
what colour is it?
What colour? And Patch says, well, what do you guys want? And then one guy says, and then the co-worker says, what about puce?
That's it, yeah.
And then they're like, puce, what's that? And he goes, it's a bit of shade of lavender and a bit of blue.
Yeah.
And then we can even bring out a sequel next year. Puce juice. That guy, for me, he cracks me up in that movie. Yeah. He's a lawyer, and he's a lawyer. He
follows him around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
like a little lapdog. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't fault the film at all.
No.
Well, as for being in a position it's in number one, I can't see it outside of number one for me.
No, absolutely not. Especially the amount of films we looked at before.
Yeah. So there it is, guys. That's our top 10. So we've got Bad Santa at number 10, Santa Claus at 9, Jingle All the Way at 8, Elf at 7, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation number 6, Daddy's Home 2 at number 5, Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 1 at 4th and 3rd respectively, and then Die Hard at number 2. And our number 1 Christmas movie of 2021 in this podcast, Christmas special of the Geek Shed, is Santa Claus the movie. So that's it for our Christmas special. We are coming back. We are going to be doing more sports. We're big Arsenal fans. We're going to be talking a bit more about football because the wrestling industry is just on its arse at the moment and it just pisses us both off. So I certainly can't chat on for an hour a week talking about wrestling. So we'll see how we get on with some football. And yeah, that's all from me, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter. Just look for The Geek Shed. The link will be in the description on YouTube. So yeah, that's me saying goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Brilliant. Take care, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.